Welcome back to Let's Play Shuffle. Today's one of those days, man. Those type of days when you wake up and you're like, I can't be fucking arsed at all. I think it's cloudy outside, my room's just kind of all dim and all kind of like, just makes you sleepy, man. Just freaking, damn. I couldn't be asked getting up, but I ended up getting up anyway regardless because even if you don't need to get up, your body's just like, hey, I've already done resting even though I am tired. It's just like, damn it, why can't I freaking get back to sleep when that happens? It's annoying. As soon as you've woken up, you pretty much stay awake for like the rest of the day. It's annoying. Especially if, say, like, you go to sleep and have like 4 hours sleep or less. You wake up and you can't get back to sleep, no matter how much you try. And, like, the amount of time you waste trying to get to sleep, like, literally goes into hours. It's ridiculous. But anyways, even her footing melted into nothingness. In the dark, empty space, her body floated without moving. Her fair skin stood out against jet black air, yes, and her purple twin tails spread in the darkness. Primula? I mumbled her name, but there wasn't a reply. Primula? I screamed her name. That wasn't screaming her name at all. Her name while picking up her tiny body, but she still didn't see me. Her arms hung limp, and her purple eyes looked empty like a broken toy's. Primula? There wasn't an answer, no matter how many times I called to her, no warmth, no will. She was just like a doll. With that word, either or either, which one is correct pronunciation, or is it both, or what? Are they different words? Because if they're different words, then that's weird. Then again, when it comes to words that sound the same but are different, it's usually pretty much like stuff like your, like that has like different meanings with how it's spelled. Man, the English language is such a clusterfuck when you really look at it. She was just like a doll. Just like a man-made doll. A doll with broken strings that wouldn't move anymore. So, not much like Pinocchio then. The light from the window burned against my head as sweat soaked through my shirt and I only felt continuous discomfort. What the hell was with the sound effect, man? That was loud. I got up and stared blankly at the wall in front of me. Was that a dream? I looked down at my hands and felt relieved not to see a girl with purple hair in my arms. I was thankful not to be in that darkness. I guess she's gone out with Kite, eh? I wanted to sleep Primla, so I went to her room only to find that it was empty. What a nightmare. I suspected that we hadn't seen this because now it's white font again. I'd had such a dream because of what I heard from the King of the Gods and the King of the Devils the other day. That story of Primla's two older sisters who were almost certainly dead. Which is almost certainly bullshit. Even if they were made differently, there wasn't any guarantee that the same thing wouldn't happen to Primla. I needed to quit while I was ahead. It was no use thinking about it and would only make me feel depressed. I sighed and decided to go back to my room. Well, it didn't, go to the scene that we've seen quite a number of times then, with the King of the Gods explaining stuff. There's always gonna be this beach scene. Every round I'm always like, so how's the beach scene gonna go this time around? Because it's always gonna be there. But, with different characters, what the interaction be like? The bright white sunlight was reflecting off the surface of the blue ocean. Visiting the beach really is the embodiment of summer. You ever notice, these are the most common kind of visiting spots in anime, visual novels, and all that. Seem to be, places like the beach or the swimming pool, Just always these two. Every time. So let's go to the pool and just yeah, or let's go to the beach, yay. What about let's think here. I said, I haven't really seen zoos in anime. Not the ones I've watched anyway. Is it common for that or not? If so, then, well, I just didn't know. If not, there needs to be more of that because there is way too many beach and pools, but not enough of other things. How about like a trek through a forest or something? Wait, no, they do that. But like, you know, like an actual one. No, I think they do that. Okay, just a zoo. I don't know. I'm crap at coming up with ideas for places that characters should go to. You know, whatever.
海だな。ああ、海だね。
Why do they scroll?
海だよな。ああ、海だとも。
Yeah, you've already said that.
海と来たら、まずやることは一つだよな。ああ、もちろんだともしんちゃん。さあ、今こそ一緒に。海！
皆さん、なんと言ったら。
That's okay, we were kind of ready for it. I don't think this qualifies as a family vacation anymore. Are we going to be okay?
お二人とも元気ですよね。
No, seriously, whenever these three are on screen at the same time, with their arms like in the positions they are, it makes it just look like they're all morphed into one weird being with lots of arms.
元気でいいの？こういう場合の言葉って。お二人ともすっかり砂浜の人気者ですわね。視線を二人占めしてます。とりあえずあの二人の荷物は別の場所に分けとくわね。仲間って思われたくないし。
Everyone nodding in agreement. Anyway, Mayumi.
何
？What about your extra lessons? Don't you have them every day?
今年の夏風邪は厳しいのですよ。しっかり治しておきませんと。
I see, so you're treating it by tanning in the warm air? I'm sure the doctor who diagnosed you will be very popular.
風邪をひいたら温めないとね。
That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Can you imagine if a doctor worded it this way? Okay, you've got a cold, so the best solution is to counter it out by getting skin cancer. Like, obviously, you know, going on the beach and just getting a tan isn't gonna cause cancer like that. But imagine if it worded in that way. Just like, okay, in order to get rid of one problem, which we won't technically be getting rid of, we will add another problem that's even bigger that will distract you from the previous one. Is that okay with you? No! I could picture Miss B's beautiful smile in my mind.
それじゃあ陣地の準備は俺様たちがしておくから、女性陣は着替えてきてくれ。
Seriously, I say some random stuff.
さすが緑葉くん。女の子には気が利くじゃない？ですけど。
大丈夫大丈夫。女性は準備に時間がかかるからね。はい。
Oops. It's okay, I'll make sure you won't come and peek, so don't worry.
さすが土見くん、よくお分かりで。それじゃお願いね、りんちゃん。僕たち着替えてきちゃうから。
Plot twist, he ends up being the one that peeks on them. They all headed for the changing room with their bags. Let's get things ready then. Itsuki, can you get the blanket from that bag? I think we'll have enough space for everyone. Maybe we should have asked them to help us a little more. They sure aren't making themselves useful at the moment.
ほら、ナボ待ちやがれ。捕まえられるものなら捕まえてみなよ、しんちゃん。
Never mind. Please stay away from us.
ダメだね。相変わらず分かってないな、リンは。
Huh? What?
これだけ綺麗どころの揃った婦人。この海水浴場中探したところで他にはないよ。日本中探したところであるかどうか。だとしたら1分1秒でも早くその魅力的な水着姿を晒してもらわないと周囲の皆さんにも失礼じゃないか。
The others? Well, I caught on while I was looking at this. Was a very popular beach and there were plenty of people. But most of the guys were looking in our direction. To be specific, they were looking at the girls who went to the changing
理
room.
解したかい？
Did you just throw a chunk of meat to the wolves?
それを守るのが騎士の役目だろう、ナイト様。
He swept me on the back like he was having fun. He was planning to make me do all the work.
大丈夫。夏のメモリー記憶装置はバッチリだから。
How many cameras did you bring anyway?
使い捨てからデジタル、一眼レフに8ミリビデオ、何でも来いさ。
He was a professional, all right.
りんちゃ
I saw Asa Senpai coming from the changing room sounding happy. It didn't take you long at all.
ん早かったじゃなくてリムちゃんの水着
Oh, that's that? What do you think? I think it's perfect on her. Haven't you seen it before anyway? The freaking school pool, remember? You found one that fits a little better than the one before.
ぴったりの意味が違うでしょ
Wait, isn't it the same one or is it a different one? Or am I just crap with memory? Even Itsuki said there's no other suit that fit her better. I actually agree with it.
洗脳されてどうするのよ
She always does that pose, but like that, just like, look at my boobs. As a senpai held her forehead as if she was exhausted. I actually thought it fit her too perfectly. Man, I thought that was gonna be the entire beach scene, just like, shortest beach scene ever. Why is everyone so cheerful anyway? I watched the rest of the group as I rested beneath the umbrella. You're not allowed to be cheerful, be moody, grumpy, and generally depressed and shit. But anything but cheerful, no! Some of them were swimming out in the ocean, some splashing in the shallow area, and the rest were playing beach volleyball. Except for the guy who was hitting on one girl after another. I tried to avoid paying much attention to the last one, but I could tell they were all having fun in their own ways. Wait, Asa Senpai swam as much as I did, so why is she still so energetic? I won't admit that I'm getting old. Never! I wonder where Primula is. I thought she was just playing by the shore. I looked around trying to find her purple twin-tails. I didn't see her in the water, so she was somewhere on the beach. There you are, Primula. I was expecting it to like go into a random scene where Primula gets mistaken as a shark somehow. You just see the twin tails above the water and just like just pops up and it's like, it's a Vaporeon! Wait, it's not a shark
お
then.
兄ちゃん
What? She looked a little embarrassed. There was a small sandcastle by her hands. What the fuck was that? Oni-chan! That was a... What the... There was never... Well, were even some stuffed animals by it. How cute. Sandcastle, huh? I used to make those when I was a kid,
お
too.
兄ちゃんも
No, seriously, man. It's like they've changed the voice actor. What the hell's going on? Seriously, we're so used to, like, that default kind of, you know... I'm not showing any emotions today because I am a homunculus without emotions. I am indifferent to every situation in this entire thing. But suddenly, Oni-chan! Yeah, that seems like quite a bit different. Sure, I bet most of the people did too. I wondered why people make sandcastles on the beach. Maybe I'll join in. May I? Primula seemed to be surprised, but she smiled and answered me right away. Now that's actually a good question. I've never really wondered that. Why do they make sandcastles anyway? I'll have to look that up because I don't know the answer to that. It's kind of sad, really. You make a sandcastle, and then, like, no matter how good it looks, you're just like, you could be like a ridiculously good artist that like freaking does this shit for a living. Well, not for a living, but as a hobby that just like impresses the crap out of people, but at the same time just like, but isn't it kind of sad? I mean, now it'll just, the tide comes in, gone. Just like, look at this, I have built this masterful Victorian era. Wait, no, not Victorian era. Wait, wait, they might have had castles in the Victorian era. I haven't really focused on the Victorian era, whatever. But just this masterful, beautiful castle. And then it gets washed away. And the castle is so great that it's like freaking 10 feet tall. And freaking just, wow. Just tide. All that work I took... Wait, how was I able to make that before the tide came in anyway? That is way too much work. Why don't we make a huge one?
作りたいけど、水が邪魔する。
You damn water! I want to make my castle! Well, why not build a bit further up the beach at least? I mean, the tide will still get it eventually, but not as quickly. Of course that would happen if you do it here. Okay, then we'll create a sandbank. That'll protect it from the waves.
壊れちゃった。
Those waves attack with perfect timing, don't they? Alright then, I'll face that challenge. I'll take care of the bank, so you make sure to make a huge castle, okay? Here I come!
お兄ちゃんが壊れた。
The bigger the better! Come on, go for it!
はい。
It really is like they changed the voice actor. Together we challenge nature. Darn it! Ugh! Geez, stupid waves, that's not fair. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Ha ha ha! Look at this perfect bank. You're no match. No, wait. Ah!
お兄ちゃん、意外に熱くなっちゃう人なんだ。
I think my voice acting perfectly represented how he felt.
リン君、結構乗り出したら止まらない人だから。
Our challenge against nature continued until the sun started to set. We were truly reminded of how great nature was. You know, it really is, isn't it? It's like humanity's all like, yeah, we are a powerful force on this planet. And then nature's just like, yeah, about that. Your technology ain't got shit on me, bitch. Nature is scary, man. Don't underestimate it. It's fun to do things together as a family. Seriously, when you think about it, if nature, like, freaking randomly could just wipe out humanity just like that. But we don't really think of that because it obviously hasn't happened. But, man, just the mere fact that nature itself could potentially, you know, wipe out humanity some days. Quite scary. But then again, also the thought that humanity could wipe out humanity because humanity is kind of stupid. That is also scary. Sunlight Way was usually packed with uninformed students, but since it was summer vacation, it looked rather different. You know, I've said before that I don't have much faith in humanity, and I like thought of something randomly, just like, you know, why is it that we come up with more ways to destroy each other than to make peace? That's a good question, actually. Why is that? However, there were club activities going on, and the pool was open, so you could still see some students in their uniforms. But anyway, let's get back on point. But still, the numbers decreased drastically. Looked around while walking, I came across a familiar figure. Long blonde hair, I didn't give a shit. Because it wasn't a scene that has any importance to this route. Sorry, Kureha-senpai. Can we get a ma? No.
でしたら、それに。
Interruption? Man, I hate interruptions because I usually, whenever it comes to edit them out, sometimes I forget they're even there. There we go.
それで。はい。
Hi! The way she says hi and her ma. Favorite things about that character. Your footsteps coming up the stairs. Those are footsteps, man. And they sound like they might shake the earth itself. No, I don't care what you say, that is not footsteps. They were heading towards my room and stopped right in front of the door. And if they are, then holy shit.
お兄ちゃん
The door flew open. Your facial expression and voice just did not go together there. Hey, don't kick the door open. Besides, if you open it that way, I can see your green checkered pattern. What? What?
お兄ちゃんエッチ
Hey, I didn't do anything, but what's the big rush anyway?
そうだそうなのお兄ちゃん私のケーキ食べた
Cake? I thought about it for a moment and remembered eating a piece of cheesecake that was in the fridge. Yeah, I did. Was that yours?
やっぱりお兄ちゃんだ
She looked like she was about to cry and choked out her words. Sorry, I didn't know. I apologize, so please stop with the face and whimpers, they'll kill me.
後で食べようと思って楽しみにしてたのに
You know, I'm a bit different to you, Rin, in that if I see something in the fridge and it just like piques my interest, it's like, you know, that looks nice. I'll ask around the house, just like, is anyone gonna eat that? Because, like, you know, it's best to, you know, do that rather than just eat it and then, like, have to face someone saying, you asshole, I was gonna eat that, you son of a bitch.
私のチーズケーキ
I'm so sorry, I really mean it.
チーズケーキ
Cheesecake. Hey.
大好きなのに
So, it just went into another scene. I'm walking down the sunlight way at this hour. I couldn't make God to do it when it was my fault. But I don't know where a good bakery is. How about the Fergau bakery? Although it's not in this area. Maybe I'll step into the bookstore and ask. Wait, they have bread. I don't think they have cheesecake. Or maybe they do. I imagine Sunday-san could do that. I dragged my feet and started my aimless journey.
あれリンちゃん
Oh, the perfect person for the situation. Oh, you're an angel from heaven!
何ちょっとリンちゃんそんな抱きついたりしたら
He copped the feel?
ほ
No.
らリンちゃん
Obviously just... Ow. Maybe she took it that way. I'm sorry, I felt like I was just rescued from a snowy mountain.
まあいいけどね理由もそれなりに分かったし
Let me guess, he just rushed out and hugged her, but it looked like he copped the feel. Or, well, either scenario, well, he copped the feel or just ran up and hugged her, would probably get a slap because it's just out of nowhere.
でもああいう行為が楓の耳に入っちゃったりしたら大変だからせめて周囲に人がいない時に
You know, if you look at it in this kind of way, just like, okay, so, a guy that the person knows, obviously, hugs the girl out of the blue just like that, slap to the face. Gender reversal, the guy would just be kind of like, what? No slap, nothing, just what? Now, do you see something with this? Like, if it's a guy, slap. If it's a girl, it just gets a kind of, what the hell kind of reaction. At most. No one around.
ああなんでもない
Seriously, don't slap me in the face.
それで美味しいケーキ屋だっけうんいいとこ教えてあげるまあ皆さんいらっしゃいませ
I come here all the time, but I had no idea that their cakes were good. Wait, you come here all the time, yet you never really tried it? Come to think of it, I couldn't remember ever eating cake here before.
チーズケーキですかはいお待ちくださいませ
It's always good to have a friend who's familiar with different food.
チーズケーキ好き
I think that's the first time we've seen her smile like that. It's like they've both got the same facial expression, like literally freaking copy-pasted right there, only her smile's bigger than hers. Wait, they might... Now I think, yeah, it is a bit different. But in me, it didn't look like it was exact same eyes there for a second. I mean, there is the same kind of like expression on the eyes, but as you can see, it's a bit different here. You got that and that, but it's different size here. Just like, wait, were they that lazy? But nope, it doesn't seem to be the case. Primula ate her cheesecake with a smile in the living room. What happened to the face that could kill someone out of guilt? Cakes are good.
お兄ちゃんもチーズケーキなの？
Yeah, they're all the same.
じゃあ、ね。
But you ate the cake in the first place. You're not allowed cake.
お兄ちゃんと半分こがいいな。
Primla turned red and looked up to me as if to beg. I put a piece of cake on my fork and showed it to Primla. It's the same cheesecake.
それでもお兄ちゃんと半分こがいい。
I don't think it'll make a difference though. Here. Primla happily opened her mouth. I smiled wryly and fed her the small piece. How many people, well, times at the very least, has someone been, you know, fed in this way, in this whole thing? It's ridiculous.
おいしい。
Primla smiled happily as if she was truly enjoying it. Her smile could be so malicious. And with such malicious smile, she made so malicious words.
お兄ちゃんも食べさせてあげようか？
No, that's okay.
遠慮しなくていいのに。
Man, I think he's been fed by probably every character by now. Or almost. Except for, like, you know, characters outside the main characters. Primla sounded disappointed. I don't want to go to the scene of carnage yet. What do you mean yet? But Primla still tried to feed me by sticking out her fork with a piece of cake on it. Okay, I'll eat it. I give in. I don't think I can win over her smile. Oh, did you see that there? Kaide's expression. I don't think I didn't see that. Kaide is saddened. She's like, oh man, I'll get screwed over again. He's falling for her for some reason. Why not me? I do all this stuff for you.